Zip ties, cable ties, zap straps, whatever you call them. If you DIY, you zip tie. Their versatility is amazing, but if you don't trim the end off properly, you can leave an extremely sharp edge that can easily cut you. And no zap strap should make you bleed your own blood. So do you know the best way to cut the tail end off of a zip tie? In this video, I put 5 different tools to the test to find out the best way to cut zip ties. From everyday scissors to specialized cutters, we've got it covered. Stick around to see which tool reigns supreme and discover a game-changing bonus method that will make trimming zip ties a breeze, even when you don't have your favorite cutting tool available. These are the tools I tested: good old-fashioned scissors, side cutters, pliers, razor knife, and flush cut pliers. I'll show 2 different styles. First up, the trusty scissors. Almost everybody has a pair of scissors laying around, so let's find out how well they fare if this is your weapon of choice. Trying to get the blade snugged up to the head of the zip tie is a little awkward, and cutting through the zip tie takes a little bit of effort. The end is cut off, so I guess that's a success. Unfortunately, the cut end doesn't share a flush with the head of the zip tie, so it leaves this nasty little nub sticking up. That would easily cut you, so I can't really recommend this method. The next tool to test is side cutters. These are a pretty common zip tie cutting tool. Heck, it may even be your go-to method. But is it a good method? It's easier to get tight to the head of the zip tie, and the cutting action requires less effort than the scissors. But it still leaves this nasty little bit sticking up, and those sharp edges could be pretty painful. Cutting a zip tie isn't your only option. You can actually twist the tail off with a pair of pliers. You need to get the tip of the pliers tight to the head of the zip tie, squeeze and twist, and after a few rotations, the tail will pop right off. It actually leaves a decently smooth surface, but this method is a little awkward to get the hang of, so it might not work for everyone. On to the next. Another tool that you quite likely have laying around is a razor knife. Your first inclination may be to just slice that tail right off, but your first inclination is wrong. You're likely to slice right through suddenly and end up cutting something else in your efforts. The trick to using a razor knife safely is actually to just score one face of the zip tie with moderate pressure and then push the tail over. Sometimes it snaps right off, sometimes you need to give it a little bit of a wiggle, but the end result is a smooth surface that isn't going to scratch you up. Of all the tools tested so far, this leaves the cleanest edge. Flush cut pliers are a tool that you may not already have in your toolbox, but you can pick up a pair on Amazon for about $10 for a 2-pack of this style, and again, around $10 for a single tool in the slightly beefier style. Just get the shoulder of the cutters nestled right up snug to the head of the zip tie and give the handles a squeeze. It's really easy to get the cutters tight to the zip tie since they're flat on the backside. As you can see, this tool is specifically designed for clean cuts, leaving the tail end flush with the head of the zip tie. The result is equally as good as the razor knife. They are easier to use and quite possibly the safer method too. In my opinion, they are worth the investment. If you've made it this far, you must really have a passion for cutting zip ties. I have a passion for all things DIY and making videos showing you the tricks and tips that I've learned along the way. So please like and subscribe to help motivate me to make more content for you. At the beginning of this video, I promised to show you a bonus method, so here it is. Yep, just another zip tie. The trick is in how you use it. If you just take the zip tie and slide it right over the tail end of the existing zip tie, you can then just give it a twist, making sure that the 2 heads of the zip tie stay in close contact. And with a couple spins, the tail pops right off. Pull the end of the zip tie through, and you still have a usable zip tie. Incredibly simple and surprisingly effective. Even though the cut end isn't as clean as some other methods, this bonus method is definitely a game changer when you forgot your cutting tool on the workbench and you're standing on the top of a ladder. The results. First place, flush cut pliers. I think that for most people, this tool is going to provide the best ease of use and closeness of cut, ultimately resulting in a smoother finish. While this is a tool that is less likely to be in your toolbox than side cutters, pliers, or a razor knife, they are pretty cheap to pick up. Check out the link in the description if you want to get the exact same ones that I have here. My runner-up pick is the razor knife. It's a tool that is likely to already be in many people's toolkits, so there's nothing extra to buy. It's easy, quick, and leaves a really nice finish. But while it is precise, it's not the safest option. Handling a sharp blade always has its risks. Used properly though, this is a very effective way to cut a zip tie and leave a smooth edge. Now that you've seen these tools in action, it's time for you to get out there and trim some zip ties of your own. And once you've done that, come back here and leave a comment about your favorite method, especially if it's one that I didn't mention in this video. I'm always eager to learn new ways of doing things. That's all for now. So as always, thanks for watching. Stay creative.